G'day, welcome back to the channel. On this episode of Tomo's Tune-Ups, proudly sponsored by Minisport, we are talking about the selector hub bearings and springs available at Minisport. So this is a selector hub in which we'll go into gear. So at the moment, this hub is in neutral position because it is directly in the middle. If we pull it one way, the gear will come out, which will then move across to the fork, which will then engage the gear. If we push it back into the middle, it's neutral. If we push it back the other way, it's going into the opposite gear. So for instance, it could be say first and second. This is what's going to give a nice crisp engagement into those gears. When you pull your gearbox apart, it can be quite daunting to know how it goes together as well as what to look for. I have done detailed videos on how to pull a gearbox apart before, and when you're pulling these apart, not only take note of which way components go, but also the internal components that are likely to wear, such as the forks, the springs, the bearings, all those sort of things. If you're unsure how to do it, either hit me up on Instagram, send me a DM, or even give the guys at Minisport and they can help assist where possible. Now, although the springs and the bearings are quite a small item, it is worthwhile upgrading and replacing. I generally keep at least a dozen of these in my toolbox. The reason for that is when you pull it apart, generally the springs and bearings go flying. One goes to the other side of the workshop. You spend the next 2.5 hours looking for it. If you can't find it, throw it in the bin. So we have the spring and we have the bearing. This is a specific size bearing in which needs to be mated with the spring when you're putting it all back together. It sits on there directly like that. Over time, the springs, just like in a car, do wear. They do compress over time. So as you can see in the photo listed to the side, you can actually see a height difference between the two. The one on the right is the new one, the one on the left is the old one. So this just goes to show that over time, the springs compress, it doesn't give you that nice engagement. And the last thing you want to be doing is putting it all back together and realizing when you go to engage it, oh man, that first gear is definitely crunching. It's not going to second very well. Third gear is really tough. All these small components add up. And when you send your gearbox away to get rebuilt or even your engine, the cost might seem exuberant. Now the reason why gearbox and engine rebuilds are so expensive is because you're not only paying for the time, but you're also paying for the experience of the person doing it. The cost may seem expensive, and yes it is. However, the reason why that is because of the components that are going in there. If you have a couple of selector forks that are worn, some bearings, a couple of springs, those items generally tend to add up fairly quickly. Not only that, if you then want to go to a LSD diff or a set of straight cut gears, those items pick up pace pretty quickly in terms of cost, and therefore there's a reason why the bill grows quite largely. If you're pulling your gearbox apart or you're questioning why someone's charging you so much to do it, chances are it's probably the parts. That small cost it's going to be for you to be able to replace those bearings or seals or the gears, whatever it may be, at the time when it's apart is going to be significantly less to being able to put it back together and then realizing that when you go to put it into gear, it's super hard, it's difficult, it grinds. All those sort of things are all going to add up. Although it may seem like a lot of money now, it's actually going to be quite cheaper doing it now whilst everything's apart, doing those upgrades for the longevity of the vehicle, but also a better drivability, rather than putting it all back together and wishing you had done it. Because then you're going to have to take the engine back out, do it all over again, start again, and potentially even ruin further components inside there. So when you're replacing these springs and bearings, there are 2 hubs in each A-series gearbox, in a 4-speed that is. There are 6 bearings and springs in there in total, so 3 bearings and springs per hub. You will need a total of 6. As I said, I generally keep at least half a dozen in my toolbox at home. That way, if they ever go kablamo, I can get new ones, put them in, and away we go. Generally, the bearings don't wear, but the springs do. I like to change them as a pair. If you're unsure, hit them up at www.minisport.com.au. Reach out to the guys at Minisport, send me a DM or even an email, and I can assist where possible. Get those classic minis back on the road, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Tomo's Tune-Ups.